my bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party. Pink felt like I'm ready to bend. I'm a 10, so I pull in a Ken. Like Jazzy, Stacy.
It's so beautiful.
What is up, guys? Yes, my hair is pink. Yes, I am wearing the Barbenhiemer shirt because today is the day. It is Barbenheimer Day. Well, technically it's Barbenheimer Eve, I guess, because it is Thursday, and I actually just came out of watching Barbie and Oppenheimer. Literally spent almost 7 hours, maybe 8 hours at Cinemark. That is basically like my normal working shift, but watching movies. The whole experience was really cool, and actually, after watching the Barbie movie, I walked out of the theater, and someone from WBRE, which is our local news station, well, the city across from us, local news station, actually asked me to, interview, I guess. Well, they didn't really ask me any questions, but, like, they, like, took a look at me with the poster. That was pretty surprising. I was not expecting that. And yes, the reason for the hair is because someone at my job told me that they would basically pay me $10 if I spray paint my hair pink. And I said, deal. So yeah, and it really matches the outfit. I got the pink shorts on with it, so you had to go pink for Barbie. You just have to. But anyways, let's jump right to the movie. Now, this is going to be a spoiler review because there's a lot that actually happens within this movie that I feel like we need to talk about. So yeah, just letting you guys know that before we get into the video. So right off the bat, this movie, I wasn't really looking too forward to it until I found out that it came out the same day as Oppenheimer, of course. And then, of course, we got the joyous day that is Barbenheimer. And I just was like, I'm in. And when I saw the casting, you know, Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, I was hooked. And even Will Ferrell. I even dropped my trailer, and I think that's the trailer review. And I honestly think that's one of the highest viewed trailer reviews that I have on the channel, so I of course needed to see this movie, and honestly it did not disappoint. I was very surprised on how much I actually liked it. I liked it a lot more than what I thought I would, and let's just jump into the categories, starting off with plot. Okay, for plot, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now, I really thought this plot would not be good, but the plot is actually one of the best things about the movie. So going right into it, it's basically Barbie land. We see Margot Robbie interacting with all the Barbies, and this is honestly when it's the most fun, is right in the beginning. They're having a dance party, and it's really cool. And then all of a sudden, Margot Robbie's Barbie just brings up death. And it's like, that's a bit weird, that's a bit suspicious. And then it's literally silence for like a good 5 minutes. And then she just goes and makes a joke out of it, and they continue. And then the next day, of course, that's when everything bad starts happening. And then what's really cool is, also this movie starts off like 2001 Space Odyssey, which is what we saw in the trailer, which is really cool to me. Then later on, she goes to have to meet Weird Barbie, which was honestly a Barbie that, come on, we all knew someone had this type of Barbie growing up, is when you play too hard with the Barbie and start coloring on it. I had a few action figures growing up where I drew on the Tunker truck, which I also colored all over. I was one of those kids, I'll be honest with you. I messed up a lot of toys when I was like 5, 6 years old. But anyways, this Barbie's basically a Barbie that was kind of all weirdly drawn over, and she basically explains that in this movie, the Barbie world is basically the same like Barbie as the person that plays with them, and they have a matching kind of like The Shining, which is actually a joke that's brought up in here. And I will say the jokes in this movie were fantastic. And so basically we see the real world, and once they get into the real world, that's when it gets also there's a lot of dark twist to it. Ken steals the show once he enters the real world, and then we go back to Barbie land, and that's where I think the plot also died down a little bit on me, is I did not really care for the whole Ken taking over Barbie land situation. I felt like that was a little weird and a bit too long of a scene, is when Ken takes over Barbie land. But towards the end, it starts to get good. And then, of course, we have the whole I Am Ken song, which we will get into way down the line. But that whole scene was also amazing. Next, we got visuals, and I'm going 8 out of 10. there's nothing amazing about the cinematography or anything about that. However, I will say some scenes were really cool, like how like the stunning production sets look. The production of Barbie Land is just incredible. And when they're driving the cars, that's really cute to see. And even like this world building, the world building in Barbie Land is just spectacular. There's just nothing truly amazing about it, but 8 out of 10 is still a great score, and it truly delivers when it comes to production. It's just the cinematography is nothing incredible, nor is there any great visual effects, but the whole production designs is really good. Next, we have acting. Now, the acting is an 8 out of 10 as well. I feel like Ken steals the show. For me, Ken was a better character than Barbie. I just had a lot of time with Ken, and honestly, before this movie came out, while watching the trailer, I thought I would hate Ken as a person. As a character, like, I just was like, no, Ken, I love Ryan Gosling, but Ken looks like an awful person. It was quite the opposite. I actually loved Ken in this movie. I thought he was a great character, and I thought Ken stole the spotlight compared to Margot Robbie's Barbie. And even Alan, he was a great character. I would have really loved to see more Will Ferrell, because his character was funny at times. I felt like, though, that he wasn't really needed that much. I feel like the mother and the daughter was great. Those two were great characters. But the whole acting was... It was nothing like Oscar worthy, but it was still very enjoyable and real. But definitely Ryan Gosling as Ken was my favorite character and favorite acting performance within this movie. Soundtrack, I'm going 8 out of 10 as well. The soundtrack, look, I'm Ken needs to win Best Song at the Oscars. I know I said that for Peaches, for when Super Mario came out, but the whole just scene of I Am Ken was incredible. It was spectacular. Seeing Ken versus Ken in a fight and then all of a sudden rejoice was breathtaking, and honestly probably my favorite part of the whole movie. Realistically though, there wasn't really anything else with the score. There was there was a little bit cool scores there and here and there, especially when we saw Mattel, the company of Barbie. That was really cool when we saw the score for that. And of course the score for the end of the movie we saw was really good. But besides that, there really wasn't much. For enjoyment, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I really found this movie really good. And funny-wise, I was laughing because just the narrator kept breaking the fourth wall. There was a scene where like Margot Robbie was like, I'm sad and I feel like I'm not pretty. And then the narrator goes, for the casting crew, you can't cast Margot Robbie to say this line. And that was really funny. My whole theater laughed. The whole theater was basically sold out, by the way, and every joke just made everyone laugh, and it made my theater experience really funny. They even joked on some Snyder fans. There's a lot of jokes towards men, and this movie's definitely very I wouldn't say against men, but there's a lot of jokes towards men, you know, ruling the world, stuff like that, and like kind of being, I don't know, like they're the butt of the joke, and honestly, like, I didn't really care. I was honestly laughing at most of the jokes in here about Ken, and I don't know, like there was just so many funny jokes within this movie, and they all hit perfectly to me. I really found them funny, and there was some jokes that I thought were really crossing the line when it came to a PG movie. I was like, wow, I'm shocked they put that in this movie. Like, I am very... Like, for it being PG and being towards, like, little younger audiences, I was very, shocked, I guess. Like, that's the only word I can come up with, that they put that in this movie. But yeah, besides that, it was just, every joke was super funny. And then, of course, the ending, I have an 8 out of 10. The ending is basically just, Ken realizes that he needs to be somebody, and he is Ken. And then he also, like, Barbie goes to like the real world, which is kind of cool. But besides that, there's really nothing amazing that happens, but it did leave me very satisfied. And at the end, I did like have a good chuckle at the end, because there's like that whole joke where I'm just like, wow. But it was a good movie, and I felt very satisfied at the end, and it felt very fun. So overall, this movie was really good for me, and I found it to be really funny, and honestly, it was a good movie. Like, it was very surprisingly good. And I'm gonna have to overall give it an 83 out of 100, making it actually one of the highest movie reviews that I gave this year. I think it's right below Mission Impossible. So it's in my top 10 as of right now. It probably won't be by the end of the year, but it's still a great movie, and I was not expecting it to like it this much, but I actually did. And this movie definitely is for fans who like Barbie, don't like Barbie, any person that was, and even like, it's just any person who knows what Barbie is going to like this movie. Because I grew up with Barbie in my life. Like, I knew people who played it. I never played with Barbie, but I knew what Barbie was, and it was really cool. This movie definitely provides good material for people who did and don't like Barbie. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure you go watch the Oppenheimer review, because I, again, seen both of them the same day. So they will be released at like the same time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what other movie reviews you would like me to cover in the future. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for future videos, and share this review with your friends. But yeah, to zero it out. Peace.